Welcome to Elk is a narrative-driven adventure game with walking simulator elements and very interesting gameplay. You play as Frick, a girl who visits this quirky island called Elk to help with carpeting. There aren't that many residents in Elk, but every one of them has an interesting personality or backstory. During your stay at this island, you will come across some sensitive subjects such as alcoholism, murder, and dealing with tough decisions or situations. Despite the cartoony look, this game has a lot of stories to share with you, and I really enjoyed how they are presented to you. Sometimes an event can happen in the game, but later on you will find out it was based on a true story. And now the game changes into live action, where a real person is telling what had happened to them. I had no clue the developers had implemented this feature in the game, so I was really surprised. I also loved this small Easter egg where you can hear the developers talk backstage about the specific event in the game and what their vision was. I never came across something like this in a game before. You also have the opportunity to read all the stories back if you would like to know about the real event. Some can be a bit disturbing or very dark, but some of them can be really hopeful or inspiring. The gameplay is, just like the storytelling in this game, very unique and diverse. Most of the time you will have to go from point A to point B while doing this goofy walk cycle and talk to some residents and trigger a cutscene. The charming art style and the use of colors, like everything without a color isn't interactable, make this core gameplay not too repetitive or tedious. The island is not really big, and you will see very often the same scenery, so it's a good thing that the developers play with color to keep it interesting. And one element that does keep it interesting for sure is all these minigames. These minigames are very short, but very fun, like a very creative dance game, building a convoluted squirrel trap, or playing a simple but tense card game, just to name a few. Some minigames were also connected to the story, and some of them can be really uncomfortable or emotional. This game is just full of these creative ideas and moments, and that's why I really enjoyed my time with it. It kinda reminded me of some story and gameplay elements in What Remains of Edith Finch, but then in its own way. It's really obvious the developers are passionate about these stories, and they tried to convey this passion in a very creative way to the player. I'm pretty sure you will at least connect with one of these stories, and it will be heartbreaking but also beautiful. It's a very short game, like I finished it in under 3 hours, but despite some walking sections that dragged on for a bit too long, this game is like no other game I have ever played. It's thought-provoking and I was really invested in the characters and their stories. And implementing these clips of real people and seeing how it affected them really touched my heart. So in general, Welcome to Elk is without a doubt one of the most passionate games I have played. It manages to captivate you with all these stories and these real life events. And this idea of making a game as some sort of tribute to these people and their stories is just beautiful, and one of the main reasons why I appreciate indie games so much. Sure, I have played games with better or more complicated gameplay, or with more content. But just the reason why this game is made is more precious to me than the length or the price, for example. I don't want to spoil too much about the events in this game, so I highly recommend you to experience it for yourself. Pick this underrated gem up and find out what the small community of Elk has to offer you, so you will have a special time you won't forget soon.